Welcome to Anything You Want. Before we begin, please subscribe to our channel, smash the like button, and if you can, support us by joining through the join button. Your engagement fuels our work. Now, into the story. The unexpected public unraveling of a relationship between two of the country's most watched performers has once again set the tabloids and social feeds alight. Yet, in the wake of their separation, it was not the well-worn narratives of reconciliations or recriminations that captured attention but rather the quiet, deliberate manner in which Afra Saraçoğlu addressed the material relics of a romance once lived in the glare of cameras. For months, the couple's professional collaborations and intermittent displays of intimacy had been catalogued by fans and press alike, each public appearance adding another line to the story of two artists whose on-screen chemistry migrated, for a time, into real life. When the decision to part ways was made public, observers braced for spectacle. Instead, what followed was a sequence of gestures that prioritized discretion and, for many, an unexpected form of grace. Sources close to the actress say that what might otherwise have become a private inventory of keepsakes and heirloom caliber presents transformed into a moral calculus. Where many might expect a theatrical disposal or a display staged for social traction, Saraçoğlu's approach, so the people who know her insist, reflected a measured intention to retain only those objects suffused with genuine personal meaning while redirecting others toward charitable channels. This was not an act of renunciation performed for cameras but, according to these confidants, a decision rooted in a desire to convert the material abundance of a previous life into practical aid for those in need. The result, a mixture of boxed mementos languishing in storage and high-end pieces quietly redistributed for philanthropic ends. The social media reaction was immediate and varied. Admirers lauded the actress for what they saw as moral clarity, writing that she had enacted a dignified break with the past and chosen to invest in others rather than hoard symbols of a concluded chapter. Others were more inquisitive than celebratory, speculating about which items remained in her possession and why certain objects were spared from donation. There is also a school of commentary that views such gestures through a critical lens, proposing that any public redistribution of assets following a breakup can carry an element of performativity. Even so, those closest to the story insist on the genuine, private intent behind the transfers. As always in celebrity culture, the truth likely contains strands of both personal conviction and public perception. Mert Ramazan Demir, for his part, is said to have responded to inquiries with a succinct sentiment: the gifts had been given freely and their ultimate disposition belonged to their recipient. This reportedly casual remark, uttered in private conversations with friends, nevertheless functioned as a public signal of mutual restraint. Neither party, according to sources, sought to escalate matters into a legal or media-driven quarrel. Instead, the narrative that emerges is one of two public figures determined to manage the aftermath of a breakup without subjecting their histories to unnecessary spectacle. Despite the donations, reports confirm that the actress retained a curated selection of personal items, objects, friends say, that carry concentrated emotional resonance. Rather than integrating these artifacts into everyday display or use, she has reputedly opted to place them in safekeeping. They exist, it seems, as private markers of a life once shared, preserved not for public exhibition but as quiet reminders from which she may derive lessons. This ambivalent posture between erasure and remembrance, parting with most, saving a few, has been read as an expression of psychological nuance, acknowledging the past while not allowing it to dictate the future. Industry insiders interpret these choices as part of a wider recalibration. In the immediate months after the split, Saraçoğlu is reportedly reprioritizing her career commitments, auditioning and preparing for projects that promise to occupy both her time and creative energies. The reallocation of material goods thus complements an inward reorientation, where once she may have spent her hours navigating the private logistics of romance, she now appears focused on building the professional milestones that will define the next phase of her life. Fans and commentators alike have observed this shift with interest, speculating whether the artistic work ahead will mark a new public persona or simply extend the trajectory fans have long admired. At intervals throughout this report we ask you, the viewer, how do you interpret these actions? Would you consider donating gifts of significant monetary worth under similar circumstances, or would you prefer to keep them as vestiges of a former relationship? We would love to hear your rationale. Do you view such donations as noble, performative, or pragmatic? Share your perspective in the comments section, and while you are doing so, please remember to subscribe to Anything You Want, hit the like button, and if you wish to support our channel more deeply, click the join button to access exclusive content and perks. Your voice shapes our coverage and helps us decide which celebrities we cover next. Tell us who you want to see us investigate in upcoming episodes. Of course, the public appetite for stories of romantic closure is voracious, and the media machinery tends to supply ever more granular conjectures, cataloging each accessory, retracing the provenance of every handbag and bracelet. Yet, for all the curiosity that such minutiae beg, the larger takeaway perhaps remains a study in personal agency, the ability to exert control over which elements of a shared past remain visible and which are intentionally released. That decision, by all accounts, has become a defining element of Saraçoğlu's post-breakup narrative. As this chapter closes on their shared public story, observers continue to parse the implications. Will this approach, parting with material testimony of a romance and converting it into communal benefit, reshape how other public figures manage breakups? Might donation become a commonplace ritual, adopted by those who wish to perform ethical closure rather than engage in spectacle? These are open questions, and your perspective matters. Tell us whether you think this marks a new trend in celebrity behavior and which public figures you would like to see choose a similar path. Your comments guide our reporting and help us measure the cultural temperature of these moments. Before we conclude, a reminder, Anything You Want thrives on your interaction. If you found this reporting insightful, please subscribe and press the like button, and consider supporting us by hitting the join button for exclusive early access to stories, member-only polls, and behind-the-scenes material. Let us know in the comments which celebrities' post-breakup choices you want us to investigate next. Our editorial calendar is heavily shaped by audience interest, and your suggestions often translate into episodes. In sum, the aftermath of the relationship between Afra Saraçoğlu and Mert Ramazan Demir has been defined not by acrimony but by a series of choices that emphasize discretion, philanthropy, and professional recommitment. By deciding to donate certain expensive gifts while retaining only those pieces imbued with genuine sentiment, Saraçoğlu has signaled a preference for practical benevolence and private reflection over public theatricality. The gesture resonates in a media ecosystem that more commonly privileges spectacle. Here, instead, is an instance of apparent humility translated into action. This concludes our report. If you enjoyed this coverage, do not forget to subscribe to Anything You Want, like the video, click the join button to support us, and drop your thoughts below. We read and respond to many of them. Thank you for being part of our community. We will return with more exclusive reporting and thoughtful reconstructions of the stories that matter to you. Goodbye for now.